I can build muscle really fast, but I also can gain fat really fast.
Yeah.
And so I never really seen myself as a fit guy, but I can now. And so it's I know now from what I've achieved, because I think what would happen before, I would slide off the diet or off the exercise program, and I'd be so hard on myself that I would just stay there, and I'd be like, oh well, I failed, and just I would just go on and never go back there. And so now that I know that what I've accomplished, I think I know how to get there. And so I know if I do start sliding a little bit, I recognize that, and I can correct course.
Yeah, truly. I think. Well, I just to talk about the program, Fit Father program. I think that was one of my main goals in designing the program, was to give guys a system that could guide you back on track. And these deviations are not these huge swings anymore. They're just like little blips, and then you have the ability to course correct. Hey there, my friend. Welcome back. This is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi, and I want to welcome you to another episode here on the Fit Father Project podcast. In just a moment, you're going to hear a conversation between myself and one of our amazing Fit Father program members, Chris Vincent. Chris is 46 years young. He's a father of 3 boys. He owns his own business. And for the past several months, Chris used our Fit Father 30X program series in conjunction with something called 75 Hard to lose over 41 pounds and get into better shape than he was when he played high school football. And Chris has a very powerful story, because Chris joined our program, and for many years, he just kind of spun his wheels. Life got in the way, but there was a switch that flipped in Chris's head one day where he decided that enough was enough and that he was going to really commit himself to the challenge for 75 days of exercising every single day, reading a motivational book, 10 pages, drinking a gallon of water, and following a proper nutrition plan as a part of the 75-day hard challenge. And he used our Fit Father workouts. He followed our Fit Father meal plan, and he did it. He accomplished it. And it certainly wasn't easy, but on the tail end of this, what's happened is Chris has completely transformed his life. He's now doing morning devotionals and Bible study. He's more present with his kids and his family. He has more energy and vitality. He's lowered his cholesterol. He's lost half of his body fat. So all these amazing changes happened so quickly for Chris. And now he's approaching life from the standpoint of like possibilities. What can I do with my new health? And now he's moving on to actually build some muscle with our old school muscle building program. So this is a really awesome convo, because I think there's a lot of guys out there like Chris who just need a little bit of a structure, a little bit of a kick in the butt, something to get that initiation energy to get going. And Chris certainly shares what worked for him. And I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. So let's hop into this Fit Father interview with Chris Vincent. All right, Chris, welcome officially to the Fit Father podcast, my friend. Super happy to have you here.
Thanks. Honored to be here. Definitely.
It's a cool, and like I say, the honor and privilege is mine. I'm grateful to have you here. I'm excited to have you share your story of how you basically got into fantastic shape, about as good shape as you got to in high school over these last several months using our program. Before we get there, please introduce yourself to everyone listening, a little bit about your family, what you do for work, and any background info that you'd like to share.
Sure. So I'm Chris Vincent. I live in Central City, Kentucky. And so I own my own business. So I own a landscape business. We own a garden center. Have 3 teenage boys. One's 14, one's 17, one's 20. Matter of fact, my middle one's having a birthday tomorrow, so he'll be 18. So
nice.
They all got spring birthdays. Been married, be 25 years this year, happily. So trying to get in shape for that 25th anniversary trip.
Yeah.
Just played sports in high school, and I'm sure we'll get into all that. But just family hit and gained a little weight, and I found Fit Father. So
yeah, so let's talk about that journey a little bit. Like, you were an athlete in high school, and ultimately you got to a point where your weight creeped up to, what was your heaviest, around 214, 215?
Yeah, I look back, because I do track that, and the heaviest that I ever was 220 in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
what's your height for everyone listening, for context?
5'6".
Okay.
So,
and so you were at a weight where, when you were in high school, what weight were you around? 175-ish?
I was 165 when I graduated high school.
Okay.
Yeah, 175 when I got married. So,
okay. So that's a good 40, 50 pounds you packed on over the course of time.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I could feel it for sure. And sometimes you don't realize, I think, how much you gain until you look back. Like this really has been an eye-opening experience because we were going through pictures a couple weeks ago for my middle son. He's graduating this year and was looking for graduation pictures. And I seen pictures back from, 2014, 15, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, that was me.
Yeah. What were you feeling like? Any symptoms in your body? Was energy, did you blood pressure issues, anything like what was going on?
Not really blood pressure. I obviously I felt bad, like like it just bending over to tie my shoes. It was I would get out of breath and climbing upstairs, or I did have high cholesterol, and so that was I've always had an issue with that, honestly. And then but blood pressure was starting to creep up a little bit in the last 3 years. It's kind of pre-hypertension, I guess.
Nice. All right. So over the course of time, I'm curious, were you trying to lose some weight? And what kind of prompts you to find Fit Father? Like, what's the journey across that period of time? Were you trying stuff? Were you just kind of like, now's not the time? What was the mindset like, and how'd you end up finding us?
I think it was I always wanted to lose weight and get fit. Obviously, every guy does. I mean, it's just... And actually, in 2012, I did lose quite a bit of weight, and I got down to about 185. But I done it the wrong way. Like I cut calories. I didn't really exercise, and I probably lost muscle mass. I just and I looked good, but then I ended up gaining it back because I just couldn't maintain that. I actually joined Fit Father, and it's funny, like in 2018, I just look back and just to see, it was October of 2018. And I went through the phase 1. I've reset a couple times, and life would get in the way, and I just kind of fall back. And, owning your own business, there's a ton of stuff to do. It's just, life would happen, and I would just kind of fall back into those old habits again. So that's kind of how I found Fit Father. But I mean, I knew the moment I was actually scrolling Facebook. I remember it. I seen, free 30-day meal plan or whatever it was, or free workout. And so I thought, well, I'll check this out. And I was looking for something, honestly, because in football, we had a dedicated structure to work out. Had a certain workouts, and that's kind of what I was looking for. I knew I could go to the gym and work out, but I had no idea, like, what do I do? And so I did join Fit Father that month in October of 18, and it wasn't too long after that I actually went ahead and signed up for the Life program because I could see that the value as far as what was being offered, because I loved the fact that it took you down this road and changed every 30 days or what, it kind of progressed as we went along. And so I really like that, because I get bored with the same stuff all the time.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that's really crucial. A couple of things you brought up just initially is, even if we have the energy and intention to change, unless we have a clear structured plan, it's like hard to take action, and especially if I imagine just thinking about all the decisions that you have to make every day in your business, right? Constantly doing things, let alone having to manage this area of your life that you feels like a little out of control. It's really nice to have a structured plan. Okay. So you joined in 2018, but you're here and we're having this conversation in 2022. So life got in the way. What really got you to go through this program, I'd say in a more, consistent way, and to lose the 40 plus pounds that you've lost up to this point?
Right. Okay. So October of 21, which 4 months ago, a little over 4 months ago, I actually had a friend of mine that was going through 75 hard challenge. And I kind of followed him a little bit. And so, we were on a beach trip for fall break that week, and I was speaking to my sister-in-law about it, and she had actually brought the book. There's a book, 75 Hard, that,
Mm-hmm.
and with her. And so I read that book while I was on vacation on the beach. And I was like, I really need this. Like I had the Fit Father, all the nutrition aspect, the exercise. I had all the knowledge, but I knew that I needed something mentally, like to toughen me and to sharpen me. And it's like I need to do this, and I thought, well, I'm gonna do it at the first of the year. I'm gonna wait till January 2nd or whatever. And but the more I thought about it, I drove back home on Sunday, and it's 12-hour drive home. And so the whole way back, I'm thinking, I just need to do this tomorrow. I just need to start tomorrow. And so I called my friend when I get home, and I talked to him for 30 minutes or so, and he encouraged me just to start. And so Monday morning, I just woke up and I said, I'm starting this today. And so went to the gym, done my Apex 10, started my diet, started just kind of, and it's kind of the way I am. I just, if I do it, I just dive in and I just do it all, and that was really the catalyst to what I needed to, because to hold myself accountable to myself.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I totally get that. And for those listening, can you explain the fundamentals of 75 Hard, like the basics, things that you need to hit to be a part of this challenge?
Right. So and this Andy Frisella is the one that come up with it, and he says it's a mental challenge more than anything, and you just get physical benefits out of it.
Yeah.
And so the 75 Hard, there's 5 tasks, I think. Yeah. So you got a gallon of water a day. Mm-hmm. You got to read 10 pages a day of a self-development nonfiction book. You have to any kind of diet, any kind of exercise routine that you pick. And so that's why I said 75 Hard and Fit Father is the perfect marriage. And so, and then you've got to do 2 workouts per day, 45 minutes each at least. And one has to be outside. It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, freezing rain.
So that could be something like one of our Apex 10 Fit Father workouts, plus maybe a walk or a bike or something. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I did. I followed the Fit Father program to a T, usually in the mornings. I've done all my workouts. I've done the Apex 10. I've done the double troubles. I've done the Monroe, all that into my morning workout. I've done the hit workouts in the mornings. The days that I was off, like, the Fit Father gives you a day of rest. Like usually I had that on Sunday. I would still go in. I would do 45 minutes on an exercise bike or a rowing machine or something. But then in the afternoons, I would do 45 minutes either of a bike for 45 minutes outside. I would walk, and then I started walking with a weighted vest actually. But nice. I think that like I said, that to me, and I know we spoke about this, but like, Fit Father was the vehicle to get me where I wanted to go, and 75 Hard was the engine, because 75 Hard gave me the extra oomph I needed, and Fit Father gave me all the tools that I needed. I mean, like, because I'm confident that without the exercise program that I went through with 75 Hard, I would be nowhere near where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
With those MRTs.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's about as effective exercise you can get. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you, because I think there's maybe some guys listening to this who can relate to you, feeling like they're the kind of guys that when they go in, they go all in. Like you feel like when you can commit to something, you go all in. What was it that switched? Like, what got you to go from a place of, going from 0 workouts per day, or maybe, inconsistently exercise, to get to the point where you're carving the time to do 2? Something must have switched, and it wasn't your schedule got any less busy, I imagine.
No, it was really hard. And to be honest, the first 3 weeks was awful. I actually failed the challenge on day 10 originally. I started October the 10th. I think the 20th that I didn't make my second workout that day. So I woke up the next morning. I tried to justify it, and I couldn't look myself in the mirror and say that I had completed it. So I took 2 days off. started back. That was on a Friday. Took Saturday and Sunday, started back Monday again. That was October the 26th. And I went all the way through January the 7th. Purposefully, because I actually, when I failed the first time, I thought, well, maybe I'll wait again until the first of the year. Because I do have, I've got Thanksgiving, I've got my birthday, I've got Christmas, I've got New Year's, I've got a vacation schedule. We was on a week vacation to South Carolina. Right. And, but then it's like after reading his book, and then I've read, there's a couple other books that I would recommend. I mean, David Goggins has a tremendous book, Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah, Can't Hurt Me. Yeah.
I knew that like mentally that this was probably I needed to go through all these holidays and like make it as tough on myself as I could. Again, to hold myself accountable. And really I don't know. I coached football for years. For the little peewee guys, like I would coach to all the way from 5 years old up to middle school. And I always said when a kid plays football that he gets tackled so many times and finally he flips the switch. Yeah. And then he decides he's going to start tackling. And something inside my mind and my brain and my body, I just said, like, I've had enough of being where I'm at, like it just, and I don't know really, there wasn't a defining moment. I think it was, I honestly think I had a lot of time to reflect on that Sunday drive back from vacation. And, I think maybe I had done it then, but then again, I failed day 10 and I restarted. So I don't know. It's just like I said, that first 3 weeks was the hardest. And once I got through that, there were some really hard days that I went through, like it would be 10 o'clock at night and I still didn't have my second workout in. And I was, I was out on the trail at 10 o'clock at night with a headlamp walking. Yeah. But I was just bound. And after that first fail, I was bound and determined that whatever happened, I didn't care. That if I had to stay up all night to get it done, I was going to get it done. I was just going to finish it. And so,
what you just shared sounds like to me a big part of this is like being true to your word, too. Like this idea of integrity that I think comes up a lot, where you said you were going to do something and you agreed that it was a challenging thing, and just being able to be consistent with that. And I also think back to youth sports. I think when we are young, we get the chance to do a lot of hard things and get pushed beyond our boundaries. And somewhere, as we stop doing that kind of stuff, we get older, we no longer get stretched in the same way. So it's very powerful when a man like you is able to take a commitment that is very challenging and then follow through. I imagine the power that you felt on the tail end of that thing is tremendous.
Yeah. Day 76, after I done 75 days of, everything I talked about, no cheating, there's no cheating, no alcohol, which I don't drink, but I mean, no, that's a big deal for a lot of people, but no cheating. I never cheated. I never went 2 weeks on a diet without cheating, let alone 75 days. And so day 76, I felt like I could, go run a marathon or something, So, and the whole time, like a lot of the time when I was training, like I would do Apex 10 and I would be at, 8 or 9, that middle part of the Apex 10 is for tough. Sure. But the whole time out here, David Goggins in my ear,
Yeah, you could see him screaming. I bet he would love the Apex 10. Oh yeah, for sure. He'd probably do an Apex 15.
Probably. Yeah.
Nice. What's it? So after you come down from this intensive period of focus and dedication, what's it been like since? Where have you settled in terms of just like a cruise control kind of coasting routine? Where I imagine you're bringing probably a lot of that intensity that you had there. And what's it like as you're proceeding forward?
Yeah. Okay. So, after the original 75, I'm still in phase. At that point, I'm in phase 3 of Fit Father, and I took about a week or week and a half off because like I said, 75 days with no cheats, no nothing. And so I had some stuff that I'd missed. I wanted some pizza. I wanted some stuff and so I took that week and a half and ate some stuff that I wanted to, and kind of just took a little bit of a rest. I still worked out. I still drank the water. I still, done a lot of the stuff that I've been used to and honestly, it's so weird. For 75 days, I looked forward to, like I said, eating a piece of pizza or a cheeseburger, or, whatever. And day 76, my wife asked, she's like, everybody's so excited because I was finally done. And she's like, what? She's She's like, what do you want to eat? And I'll go get you a burger and fries. And I was like, that don't even sound good.
Yeah.
Like it just, and I ended up eating Subway for lunch that day just because it was kind of a little bit,
Yeah, a little bit like a cheat.
Yeah. And I did eat pizza and it was good. I'm not going to lie. But, the cheeseburger, I ate a cheeseburger sometime that week and it was just like, it tasted, I don't know, just like gross. I don't know. It just wasn't good. And another thing that and this wasn't part of 75 Hard, it's just something I did. I drunk Diet Mountain Dews like crazy before this. And it was around the end of October. I thought I really need to, I'm doing all this healthy stuff and I'm still drinking this stuff. And I thought I'm just going to drink one a day. And so I did that for about a week. And finally I was like, if I'm just drinking one a day, I just drink none a day. So I just I bought my last one and drunk it over a course of 2 days. And I didn't touch another one, any kind of soda, until, like I said, day 76. I thought, oh, you know what? That sounds good just to have one glass. And I really literally drunk about 2 drinks and I spit it out and threw it down the sink. I couldn't drink it. I mean, I've been used to drinking a gallon of water per day.
Yeah.
And water, like I never want to drink water for breakfast, and I wake up now craving water.
Yeah. I completely understand, relate to that personally. I know the guys listening to this relate to that. Like your body changes in the process of putting like the good stuff in, like what you actually crave. Your taste buds clearly change. Yeah. And it's a nice benefit because especially when you really look forward to something and you have it and you're like, that pizza was good, but it wasn't like, it didn't change my life. But what did change my life is how good I feel all the time, right?
And so now, basically after that, I as I said, I was on phase 3. I started phase 1 of 75 Hard about a week and a half after that. I think I started January I don't remember what day it was, maybe the 17th or something. I just finished that one up. That's a 30-day run. I finished that up last week. And then, you can go online and read but phase 1 is basically the same things I've done before, but it also had a 5-minute cold shower every day, 10 minutes of visualization every day, and 3 critical tasks that you get to pick. Yeah. And I picked a stretch routine every day. So I did stretch routine. I did a daily Bible devotion and reading. And then I did journaling every night. And so just something that I'd been all that stuff I'd been wanting to do. It's just one of those, those things that you just, so I set that as my daily task to do. And I did those for 30 days. And so I finished that last Tuesday. I took a few days off just to reset. I took the last 5 days off. So yesterday I started Old School Muscle because I went from, I was at 214 and I really don't know what my body fat was when I started. I'm going to estimate as far as what my lean body mass was and what my weight was. I was around probably 32, 33%. Yeah. I had my body fat tested January the 8th and I was at 15.6.
Nice. Cut that sucker in half. That's phenomenal.
I could start seeing my abs a little bit. I could at least see the top 4. So never in my life that I thought that I would ever see that. And so I felt I was at that point. I had been in a caloric deficit for 4 months, basically. So I felt like I was at that point at 15% to start the Old School Muscle, and I try to I'm gonna try to pack on about 4 or 5 pounds of muscle, and then I'm gonna do another cut, see what happens.
I think running through the next 2 months of Old School Muscle, you're gonna hit that for sure, and your strength numbers are gonna go way up. Yeah, that's awesome. A couple things I'm hearing that I just want to reflect on. One, something that's really unique that you've done, Chris, is you've taken on these challenges, these very particular time-based challenges. And I think it seems to me that like every time you've leveled up, whether it's like the 75 Hard or, the 30-day version of this, it's like you give a very focused period of time, you blast it, and you level up because of that. You gain new things. You're now exploring these new habits you want to do, whether it's the stretching or the Bible study or the visualization. And then the dust settles. And I imagine now you're taking things that you learned from that and creating a new normal based on what's really moving the needle for you. Like, I think that's really big insight. I think for guys who feel like they need more focus and activation energy, like, do what you did. Like, start a focused challenge for a set number of days, and it gives you the energy for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, what you focus on grows. And so, just, you really have to, and I've probably worked on my mindset as much as I've worked on my body in the last 4 months. Every day when I would walk, I didn't listen to music. Now I listen to music when I work out because I need that, pump to get me going. But on my walk or in the afternoon workouts, my runs, bikes, I'll be listening to podcasts. I've listened to, the Fit Father podcast a lot. I've got a ton of podcasts that I listen to, but I'm trying to grow my mind to get in that place mentally. Yeah, that you're just you just feel unstoppable. I mean,
that power. And I'm curious, do you have were there any like limiting beliefs or like stuff that you'd say in your mind in the past, like Chris, a couple of years ago, that have since gotten washed out by this upgraded kind of thinking and belief structure? Were there anything in particular, or is it more just a general, more positive and powerful feeling? Or is there anything that you really kind of like rooted up that was a pretty consistent thing?
I think so. I think, I never really seen myself as a fit guy. Yeah. It's just, I was the chunky kid in elementary school, and in high school, I was in pretty good shape because I played football and, they ran us all the time. So there wasn't much option. But even, when I got married, I gained weight and I was always, always bigger. I mean, I've always been short and stocky, so it's like, and I always joked around and said I can build muscle really fast, but I also can gain fat really fast. Yeah. And so I never really seen myself as a fit guy, but I can now. And so it's I know now from what I've achieved, because I think what would happen before, I would slide off the diet or off the exercise program, and I'd be so hard on myself that I would just stay there, and I'd be like, oh, well, I failed, and just, I would just go on and never go back there. And so now that I know that what I've accomplished, I think I know how to get there. And so I know if I do start sliding a little bit, I recognize that. And I can correct course.
Yeah. Yeah, truly. I think, well, I just to talk about the program, Fit Father program, I think that was one of my main goals in designing the program, was to give guys a system that could guide you back on track. And these deviations are not these huge swings anymore. They're just like little blips. And then you have the ability to course correct. So I'm curious, like for the nutrition side of things, very practically, like what works for you? What's your anchors of your meals throughout the day? Like what have you kind of dialed in as your go-to routine?
Okay, so I did it a little different. Like I know you talk about the perfect plate, and I did follow that a lot, but I did track macros just because I'm OCD and I really like to know my numbers.
But that's an important point. If you have the personality type that really wants to track things, you better track things.
Yeah. Basically, for breakfast every day, I done the same thing. I'm not a big sweet person early, so I done an omelet every morning. Nice. It was a ham and egg omelet every morning with mushrooms. So I knew what that was every day. I like simplicity. I don't care to eat the same things a lot of times, just because I know what there's no surprises to me. I don't have to.
Yeah, and you like it. It's consistent, right? It's an anchor for you. Yeah,
right. Pretty much that for breakfast. And I did intermittent fast, so I would wake up at 5 to 5:30. I would go train, do my Apex 10, double trouble, whatever. Get back home from the gym, shower, get ready for work. And I didn't eat breakfast. I'd fix my breakfast, but I didn't eat breakfast until about 10.
Nice.
So I'd eat at 10. I'd eat it. Now I drank 32 ounces of water while I was working out. I drank another 32 probably before lunch, and a gallon a day. I just split it up, I just split it up into 32s and done 4 of those.
Yeah.
Lunch normally, it varied. I was some days I would feel like a salad, so I'd eat a grilled chicken, salad and with some low calorie dressing on it. Some days I would fix chicken fajitas on a low carb wrap.
Yeah.
I went to that a lot. I did venison. I ate some venison, like beef stew, like venison stew.
Yeah, sounds nice.
So I would make stuff a lot of times on Sundays that would have like 4 meals, and I would just meal prep and have that where I could grab it and just heat it up for lunch. I really like simple and quick, and I just. But I also didn't do any processed food.
Right.
It was all clean food. And so usually in the afternoons I would have a shake in the afternoons, protein shake in the afternoons, and then at supper, usually either fish or chicken. We had a lot of fish, salmon, tilapia, mahi, vegetables, and then, like I said, kind of like a perfect plate, and vegetables, and I'd have some carbs. My favorite meal at night is fish. My favorite meal right now is ahi tuna, seared tuna, with rice and beans.
Yeah, that's a nice meal.
Yeah. And then I throw some vegetables in there too, but usually it's broccoli or a mix or something. So
yeah, so you dialed in the timing. You had your structure down, and you have some go-to meals that work for you and your family.
Right.
I mean, there you go. Welcome to a nutrition system, not a diet, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so tell me about. I'm curious about some of like the more of the inner shifts that you've made along this journey, like. Anything, particularly maybe even in relation to your spirituality and in your Bible study and stuff like this. Like, my sense is that this getting healthy is a completely holistic thing, right? It's mindset for sure. It's emotion. It's physical body healthy. And for you, a man who values spirituality, I imagine that's a big component of this too. Like, for whatever you're comfortable to share, I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about like the inner transformation that you've experienced through this process of 75 Hard, with Fit Father, with just living very intentionally.
Yeah, I think so. Like I know a lot of times on my walk, I would obviously listen to podcasts, but then I would, it'd be some time to reflect, be some time to pray, be some time to, a lot of times I would do gratitude walks, like where I just, try to be grateful for everything that I could think of. And I actually got that off of a podcast that I listened to.
Nice.
It's just, so I think, that, and then obviously doing my devotional every day, that was something that I always, again, I would start, and then it would, like, life would just get in the way. And so I've tried to continue that even after my 30. I'm trying to make that a daily habit. They say if you can do it for 21 days or something, it becomes a habit. And so try to continue doing that. But yeah, I think, spirituality got better as far as my time alone. Because when you're on the trail for 45 minutes every day, you've got a lot of time to think, and and honestly, it's good for the body, but it's good for the soul.
Yeah, it really is. And those two and those create each other. I think there's like a generative cycle. Like, a healthy body leads to healthier biochemistry, which means, healthier emotions and mind. Mm-hmm. And then also, when you're feeling great internally, aligned, connected, you end up doing better things for your body. So it's like, it's this generative good cycle that happens. And it's powerful to me that you made this shift on all levels.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you that I like to ask towards the end of these interviews. And that is, Chris, what does it mean to you to be a fit father? Like, what does the idea of a fit father mean to you?
So I'm 46 years old. I don't know if I said that in the first. Mm-hmm. When I first started, I had a guy that he was kind of helping me getting my macros dialed in and stuff. And he asked me, he said, "Why are you doing this?" And, what's your why? It's kind of like your mission statement, with Fit Father. And, I basically just told him, I thought about it for a minute. I said, I'm not getting any younger. Like, you look around and 20 years flies by. It seems like I was 20 years old 5 years ago. Yeah. And, I think so. that I think that has helped me more than anything. Like just knowing that, like, I want to be the best shape that I can be in. I've got people that's my age that's having heart attacks and cancer and diabetes, and I don't want to be there. I had my blood. It's a great story. A great was a non-scale victory. I had my blood work done December the 6th, and my birthday is the 5th. And so I had it done the last year. My cholesterol was over 300. This year, my cholesterol, and again, I'd only done it. I was only in my second month, but this year on December the 6th, my cholesterol was 203.
Nice, that's fantastic.
So I dropped 100 points in my cholesterol. And I know, and I didn't do that in a year. I done that in 2 months. I mean, because I didn't start until October. So can't wait to see what it is next year.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's the sense I get when I listen to you, Chris, is like just the road ahead is so bright and filled with possibilities. Like you're 46 years young.
Yeah.
And you're literally undertaking a muscle building program now because you've gotten to a body fat that you're happy with. And you're like, I want to see if I can get pretty jacked and put on some muscle. Like, cool. Like what? That's awesome.
It's kind of like the mindset. Like if I can do this, like what else can I do? Right. Like what is possible? I like as David Goggins says, again, I quote him all the time because I've listened to him so much, but our brains tell us to tap out, when we're 40% of what our bodies actually can do.
Yeah. Right. So what is possible?
Right.
And that health gives you possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Powerful. Well, I want to end this with you sharing in closing any words of wisdom that you have for guys who are starting out, who maybe, need a little kick in the butt, or just, maybe where you might have been a couple years ago, some of that, as well as some words you have to guys who are walking the path alongside you, who have the momentum going. So 2 bits of advice for those 2 points on this journey. Yeah.
So the guys that haven't got started yet, I would tell them to get started, because it doesn't, like I said, you're not getting any younger. It's not ever going to be the perfect time. It's not ever going to be the right time. That's kind of where I was in October when I thought, I'm going to wait the first of the year until after all the holidays. And that's when I thought, you know what, there's never, there's always going to be something that's going to come up. I would suggest, like what we talked about, the short periods of whether you do 75 hard or you don't, or whether you do, you say, I'm going to do a 60-day burst or a 30-day burst, whatever. I think that focused effort is what got me to where I needed that. I needed that accountability to myself. Like I said, where I could check the boxes off every day. I said, I did this workout, water, read my book, all this stuff I checked off. For the guys that's along beside of me, I mean, there's some incredible guys in the community, in the Fit Father. I mean, guys is way farther down the road than I am. and so I look up to a lot of those guys and ask questions all the time. I've been asking a ton of questions in there about the old school muscle program, and so I would lean heavily on that. And it's funny, like you mentioned that, like, I have people all the time that come up to me now. Like, I never pictured myself. I know we talked about this. I never pictured myself as a fitness guy, I mean, like, but I have people come up to me like literally almost every day, and say, what are you doing? Like, I've been following you on, Facebook. I've been following your journey. And I post a lot on social media about my journey, and I don't do it for anybody else. I do it for me. And I do it for accountability purposes, because I know that if I post it on there, like, somebody's watching, and I just didn't realize how many people were watching.
Yeah.
So, but I always tell people, like, same things. Like, I've got a friend of mine. He just started Fit Father last week, and so he done his first Apex 10 Monday, and he texted me and said, "Oh my gosh, it's a killer." So, I told him, I said, look, get into the community, get into the Facebook page, and just, lean on those guys, because they've been there, they've done it, they're going to steer you straight. And so that's what my advice for that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So much in there. And I want to say thank you on behalf of our team for inadvertently, without you intending this to be the case, for being a light that's shining in your community, where just by you doing you, more people are seeing that there is a path to living healthy, to making changes. I mean, you're influencing people, and that makes me so happy, because like I imagine like every fit father is like a candle that's shining light in his local area, and more candles are going to catch more candles, and ultimately, what does this world look like when we have more people living healthy and living intentionally and doing their devotionals and dedicating themselves deeper to their families? Like, this whole place changes and gets better, and like, you're doing it, man. So thank you so much, Chris. It really, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your stories and your wisdom, and congratulations on your success. And I can't wait to see how big those guns get in 8 weeks on OSM.
Well, I just want to thank you all and thank your whole team. I mean, it's been absolutely phenomenal. So like I said, there's no way I'd be where I am without that, those structured workouts and the nutrition info and all that. So
nice. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.